You are afraid. Even if you hide it well or avoid the word, there's a shadow of fear trailing you everywhere. Not the sudden jolt from a horror movie, but a quiet, persistent fear that whispers, "What if?" in the back of your mind. It hesitates your hand when opportunity knocks and keeps you awake, replaying worries at 3 a.m. It's woven into your thoughts, your decisions, your very being, wearing many masks, whatever shape it takes. Fear of failure, rejection, judgment, uncertainty, change, or even death. Fear finds a way into every corner of your heart. And guess what? You're not alone. Look around, and you'll realize everyone carries their own fears behind their smiles and laughter. Feeling afraid doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. Fear is wired into us by evolution. It kept our ancestors alive by yelling, "Run!" at every rustle in the dark. But today, there are no saber-toothed tigers lurking in the office hallway. Yet that ancient alarm still fires off for job interviews, first dates, or a looming deadline, as if they were mortal threats. In fact, so much of our fear now is about things that might happen. It lives in the land of what if. Your imagination runs wild, creating worst-case scenarios, and your body reacts as if they're real. You break into a sweat over failures that haven't occurred. You feel heartache over losses that haven't happened. You end up suffering through countless terrible outcomes, all in your head. How do we deal with this constant, quiet fear? Most of us try to push it away or hide it. We grew up hearing, "Be brave, don't be a baby." So we learn to swallow our fear and pretend we're fine. We stick to what's safe and familiar, hoping that if we don't poke at our fears, they won't poke at us. But that strategy backfires. Every fear you avoid or shove down just grows in the dark. It's like feeding a stray wolf at your door. It keeps coming back, bigger and hungrier. Each time you run from what scares you, you teach your brain that you couldn't handle it, and that fear looms larger next time. Before long, your life starts to shrink. Your comfort zone becomes a cage, and the fear you carry doesn't vanish just because you pretend it's not there. It settles into your body and mind. Maybe you feel it as constant tension in your shoulders, or a pit in your stomach that never quite goes away. It can disguise itself as irritability, exhaustion, or even sadness. Living with that quiet terror always humming in the background is draining. Fear claims it's protecting you. It whispers, "Better safe than sorry." If you don't take the risk, you can't fail or get hurt, right? For a moment, choosing safety can feel comforting, as if you've outsmarted danger. But what is that so-called safety costing you? Each time you choose the safe route instead of something you truly want, you add another brick to the wall between you and the life you long for. Brick by brick, year by year, that wall grows tall. Eventually, it's so high that you can't even see what you've missed on the other side. What started as self-protection has become self-imprisonment. Maybe playing it safe did shield you from pain a few times. But how much of your life are you sacrificing to it now? Fear was meant to be a visitor, a flash of warning in real danger, then it passes. It was never meant to be a permanent resident in your mind, dictating your every move. When fear moves in and settles down, it stops protecting you and starts robbing you. Instead of saving your life, it steals it, moment by moment. A life ruled by fear is a life half-lived. That's why so many stories and philosophies tell us to have courage. In every hero's tale, the hero must face the dragon, that is, face their fear. Teachers across time have warned that constant fear will shrink your life to a shadow. Often, The monster we dread isn't even real. It's an illusion we've built up in our minds. Fear thrives in the dark and the unknown. The more you avoid looking at it, the larger and scarier it seems. But shine a light on it, examine it, and you often find it's not as big as it pretended to be. Understanding your fear shrinks it down to a manageable size. Now let's talk about you. It's easy to agree that everyone has fears, but harder to see how your own fear might be steering you. So ask yourself, is fear quietly driving some of your choices? Think about it. Have you ever kept quiet when you had something to say because you were afraid of rocking the boat or looking foolish? Turned down an exciting opportunity because you felt unready or feared you might fail? Held back from telling someone how you feel because you were scared of rejection? We all have experiences like these. And acknowledging them isn't meant to make you feel guilty. It's to recognize that in those moments, fear was at the wheel. You're not bad or weak for that. You're human. But now that you see it, you can start to change it. Once you spot fear's influence, you can begin to loosen its grip. You drag it out of the shadows and into the light of awareness. Only by naming it and facing it can you stop it from quietly controlling you. Some fears are so ingrained, you might not even recognize them as fear. They hide behind habits and gut feelings. Psychologist Carl Jung talked about our shadow self, the parts of us we push away. Many of your fears live in that shadow, quietly influencing you from behind the scenes. Maybe deep down you believe, I'm not enough, or I can't handle it if things go wrong. It's not a loud thought, but a subtle undertow in your mind. That belief might be steering you to avoid risks, to sabotage opportunities, all without you consciously thinking, I'm afraid in the moment. Fear often wears the disguise of just being careful in our day-to-day lives. Maybe you procrastinate on a project that really matters to you. Deep down, you're terrified of failing at it, so you avoid it. Or you obsessively double-check everything because you're afraid that if you don't control every detail, something will fall apart. Maybe you always say, I'm fine, even when you're not, because you're scared to burden others or seem weak. These little defenses and detours might seem harmless, but add them up and they build the shape of your life. And that shape is smaller and more limited than it would be if fear wasn't constantly whispering in your ear. Think about decisions or changes you avoided and how you justified them. Perhaps you ended a relationship at the first sign of trouble, saying it just wasn't working out, when truthfully you were afraid of getting hurt if you stayed. Or you passed on a new job or promotion, telling yourself it wasn't the right fit, when really the thought of new challenges made you anxious. We're experts at coming up with sensible reasons to obey our fear. It's easier to say, it wasn't meant for me, or I'm just being practical, than to admit I was afraid. But beneath those comfortable explanations, fear is often the one pulling the strings. We all keep a list of excuses at the ready. Now's not the right time. I'm too old, or too young. I can't afford to. What will people think? They sound so reasonable, don't they? These excuses protect our pride. They give us a logical out. But strip them away, and more often than not, you'll find fear underneath. Nodding along, happy that it convinced you once again. Fear is cunning. It usually won't announce itself plainly. Instead, it masquerades as common sense or responsibility. You tell yourself you're just being cautious, realistic. It sounds noble to be prudent and prepared for the worst. But if you really examine those thoughts, you'll see they often come from a place of fear, not true wisdom. True wisdom helps you find balance and live life, not hide from it. Fear dressed up as wisdom only knows how to hide. You might say your caution has kept you safe. Not taking the leap means you can't fall. But is that really protection? Or is it self-sabotage? Every time you stay silent when you yearn to speak, or walk away from something you truly want, you chip away at your own confidence. That isn't saving you from pain. It's a slow kind of pain, all its own. It's like locking yourself in a small room because you're afraid of the storm outside. The storm passes, but you're still stuck inside, missing the clear skies. Your world stays small and gray while life goes on without you. After living like this for so long, you might think, this is just who I am. I'm just a cautious person, you tell yourself, as if you were born that way. But that's not who you truly are. It's who fear has taught you to be. The longer you live in fear's confines, the smaller your world becomes. Your comfort zone keeps contracting. Things you once did with ease now feel daunting because you've trained yourself to be afraid of even smaller challenges. You end up saying no to yourself more than anyone else ever could. This isn't a casual motivational quote we're talking about here. It's your life. It's time to take a hard, honest look at how fear has been calling the shots. Acknowledge that this constant fear, the one you've tried to tolerate and work around, is holding you back and hurting you. Admitting that is not easy. It stings. But in that sting is power. It's like finally seeing the chains that have been wrapped around you. You can't break free of something you refuse to see. Realizing how fear has bound you is the first step to freeing yourself from it. Maybe you've clung to your fear thinking it was keeping you safe, like a life jacket you never take off. But now you see it's actually more like an anchor dragging you down. All this time, fear wasn't protecting you. It was weighing you down. By serving your fear, you've been betraying yourself. You've left pieces of your courage, your talent, your dreams to drown beneath the surface, all in exchange for the illusion of safety. Think of what fear has stolen from you, in big ways and small. The person you never introduced yourself to because you feared rejection. The passion project you never started because you feared you'd fail. The trip you never took. The song you never sang. The dance you sat out because what if you did it wrong? Fear picks your pocket of experiences, one what if at a time. And those are moments you can't get back. There are parts of you, bright, beautiful parts, that fear has forced into hiding. Your playfulness, your spontaneity, your bold ideas, your open heart. They've been smothered under the weight of what if. Each time you held yourself back, you told those parts, not now, it's not safe. You sacrificed bits of your happiness and growth at fear's altar, all to stay comfortable. It's a steep price to pay for that comfort, isn't it? Was it really worth it? Fear convinced you that settling for less was safer. It wrapped you in a little bubble where nothing unexpected happens. But that bubble kept out the sunshine and fresh air too. Live in it long enough and you forget it's even around you. That ever-present fear becomes just background noise you think everyone hears. You still go about your life, but there's always a knot in your stomach, a subtle tension in your jaw. You're never quite at ease, because part of you is always bracing for the next thing to go wrong. So, what's the alternative? To live completely without fear. The idea sounds nice, but let's be honest. Even thinking about letting go of your fear is scary. Fear has been your companion for so long, even your protector in a twisted way. Stepping out from behind that wall of safety will make your heart race. Your fear won't let go without a fight. Choosing to stop letting fear rule you means facing everything you've been avoiding. It's like walking a tightrope without that familiar safety net of excuses beneath you. And that net was only made of fear anyway. Your legs will shake on that rope. Your mind will scream at you to get back behind the wall, because out there on the wire, without your usual defenses, anything could happen. And it's true, anything could happen. Yes, you might stumble or get hurt, but you might also fly. You might discover strength, love, or success beyond that wall of fear. The unknown that frightens you is also where all your growth and joy are hiding. That possibility is both terrifying and exhilarating. The price of admission for a full life. Taking a step into the unknown is the only way out of that self-made prison. Staying in your comfort cage might feel safe, but it's not living. It's just existing. Hiding from life won't actually prevent bad things from happening. It will only prevent you from experiencing the good things. It won't make your life longer, it'll just make it smaller. So I'm challenging you now. Pick one fear that is holding you back the most. Name it. Perhaps it's the fear of failure that keeps you from trying something new, or the fear of rejection that stops you from opening up to others. Maybe it's the fear of change that has you stuck in an unhappy situation. Identify one fear that really stands in your way. Today, do one small thing to break that fear's hold. You don't have to leap off the cliff, just take a step. If your fear says, "I can't," prove it wrong with one action. If it tells you to stay quiet, speak up about something small. If it tells you to stay put, take one step toward what you've been avoiding. Show yourself, even in a tiny way, that you are in charge, not your fear. You'll probably feel scared when you do this. That's normal. Your heart might pound and your voice might tremble. That's okay. Courage isn't about not being afraid. It's about being afraid and doing it anyway. Also, take a moment to understand your fear. Sit quietly and feel it. Is your chest tight? Is there a lump in your throat? Ask your fear, almost like you'd ask a friend, "What are you trying to tell me?" Maybe you'll realize it's trying to protect a wounded part of you, or echoing an old voice from the past. If you shine a light on it, you might find that what you fear isn't exactly what you thought. Bringing fear into the open like this makes it less mysterious and less powerful. It's not a shapeless monster in the dark anymore. It becomes something you can understand and handle. You might see that the fear is exaggerating the danger, or that it's rooted in experiences that don't apply to your life now. Awareness alone starts to loosen fear's grip on you. Yes, it will feel uncomfortable to step out of your safety zone. At first, it might be like emerging from a dark room into bright sunlight, disorienting and intense. Your legs may feel unsteady, your eyes will need to adjust, but you will adjust. With each brave act, you stand a little taller. Each time you face a fear, you reclaim a part of yourself that you lost to that fear. You remember the curiosity and courage you had before life taught you to be small. Piece by piece, the real you steps forward again. Will fear ever completely disappear? No, and it doesn't need to. Life will always have uncertainties. But here's the truth. The pain of facing your fear is temporary, while the pain of running from it lasts forever. To live in fear is to die a little every day. You deserve so much more than that. Your life is too precious to spend chained up by fear. So when fear comes, acknowledge it. Then choose to step forward anyway. Step out of the shadow and into your life. The only thing left now is what you decide to do with it.